Hello and welcome to the Bel-E and Scratch podcast. I am your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
And today, oh boy.
The day got better as it went.
The day got better. Well, the day didn't start off terrible.
No.
You know, I went to go, have like a dance workshop for my upcoming showcase. I've got a solo and it's going to be nice. And here's the thing about caffeine. It's probably for the best that you drink that stuff on a full or semi-full stomach. You gotta have something on your stomach.
Yeah, I'd recommend that, absolutely.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that because, once I started the dieting and the training, I was like, no more energy drinks. I'm just gonna do black and green tea for my caffeine.
Right.
Try to be, not completely straight edge, but, not be codependent on chemicals.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
They're there when you need them.
Yeah, they're there when you need them, and I do take advantage when I need it, but I don't want to have to rely on it.
Well, you definitely don't want to rely on something synthetic.
Indeed.
You would have been probably propelled just as well.
Oh, yeah.
And less negative ramifications if you had just had a big old mug of tea before you went.
Pretty much. But...
Or packed a bottle and took it with you.
Yeah, but I forgot. You know how it is.
Oh, I do. I know. You're looking for that Band-Aid at the last minute when you got that cut that you knew was coming.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, absolutely. I do understand that.
So here's the thing. Having an energy drink, it's not a terrible thing, but you gotta be responsible because after a 3-hour workshop,
right,
which was good, we learned a lot. My knee hurts, but that's not new.
And you also need to ice it after you do those things.
I should probably do that later.
Yeah.
Okay, I forgot.
No worries.
So basically, what happened was I was driving home, and I was talking to someone on the phone. Cause I'm talking to somebody over the phone because we hadn't really talked in a while, and I'm like, hey, all that stuff, what's happening, and then I'm like 5 minutes from my house, actually 8 minutes from the house.
Right.
I'm in one of those backwoods places.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it felt like my chest was about to burst, and I was about to pass out.
Yeah.
Do you know how fucked up you have to be to almost pass out sitting up?
It's happened to me a few times.
Yeah, that's not good. Passing up, standing up, okay, that makes sense. All your blood rushes to your feet, and you collapse. That's normal.
But in a seated position.
In a seated position?
That's not easy.
That's not good, either. So, I don't pass out, because I'm still alive talking to you. Like, this is literally like an hour ago. So, as of this recording. So, not to date the video, but, yeah, I basically told the guy, I was like, hey, I need to hang up because I need to get home to talk to you, Mr. Nurse Man, because you're quicker than the hospital.
I'm a good filter.
Yeah, you're a good filter.
Yeah, I'm a good filter.
Yeah, I knew I wasn't having a heart attack because I know what heart attack is.
Yeah.
Heart attack, can't feel your chest.
Statistically, at your age, if you would have had some type of cardiac problems in the past,
sure,
it wouldn't just ambush you out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, typically, if someone who is young has issues with cardiac arrest or stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
It is either genetic, like something happened, like you have a heart murmur,
yes,
or drugs.
I
have neither.
Yes, you have neither.
So, I knew I wasn't having a heart attack, and I know, heart attacks typically left arm, you can't feel it, chest hurts, hard to breathe. That wasn't me. It was chest hurts, I'm gonna pass out, I can feel my entire body because it's like, ah!
Yeah.
Not ah as in pain, but ah as in, oh shit!
Just this rush.
Yeah. Like, I have
big rush.
Yeah. Honestly, if I thought I was going to pass out, I would have literally just parked in the middle of the road, turned my car off, put the hazards on, and like passed out, being like, "Okay, it's the cops' problem. Goodbye."
Church parking lots are great.
I wasn't near one.
I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Just for future reference.
Thank you. I will
They're great.
I'll definitely remember that.
Because there are specific times that they are full.
And someone will notice a car.
Well,
with someone just
it doesn't have
out.
anything to do. Well, I don't mean it like that.
Oh.
What I mean is, restaurants, there's always coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. Strip malls coming and going, coming and going, coming and going.
Sure.
Church parking lots. Plus, regardless of what anybody says, a peaceful scene at a church gives everyone assurance. So take that.
Sure.
Yeah. What I'm saying is it's a good place, and because I've done it more than once, to pull over, gather yourself, whatever the situation is, whatever it is.
Yeah, by the time...
It's a great place to gather yourself.
Yeah, by the time that...
And the point you made is legitimate.
Yeah.
You will be found.
Yes, someone will find me.
Someone will find you.
Be it a parishioner or the pastor.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, you try that. Go down in a mall parking lot. Nobody even know you're there. No one cares. Yeah.
Yeah, I can. I can imagine how that would have went down. I passed out in the church parking lot, like inside my car. The pastor knocking on the window, like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I'm just like, "Call 911."
No.
Help!
Somebody, a concerned citizen. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
Never know.
But I lived, and I had a bowl of food.
Yes.
A bowl of grits when I came in because I thought, maybe food would help. It can't not help.
Can't not help in a situation like that.
Worst comes to worst, I just puke.
Yeah.
And that's not horrible to me.
That happens.
And it happens. But no, apparently food was the missing ingredient because I am pumped.
It's a bit scary.
Yeah, that's what was missing.
Did I volunteer to be alone with you in this room?
Oh, you're about to try the sour apple gum.
Ooh.
Yeah. This is my favorite sour apple gum.
It hurts so good.
Exactly. That's why it's my favorite, is because when I want something sour, I want it to physically hurt me.
Well, there you go.
But not hard enough, and not like Warheads, because that's too much.
Yeah.
Warheads is like, if you eat Warheads on the regular, like if you pop Warheads like you would breath mints, that person is a psychopath and needs to be institutionalized. Because they're planning to kill the president, and they're going to succeed.
With a rusty spoon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to, do this Ocean 11's assassination. No, they're going to get close enough, bypass security, and kill the president.
That's what sane people don't understand about crazy.
Yeah.
There's no way.
There's a way.
Oh, there's a way. Because in your mind, you can't imagine someone crazy enough to attempt such a mindless goofball thing.
Mm-hmm.
And to them, it's their reality, yeah. They'll walk right past you. You'll never see them.
Mm-hmm.
You'll never see them.
I think they said that statistically, on average, people will walk by at minimum of 5 murders in their life.
Really?
Like, just pass them on the street. You have no idea that they're a murderer. Yeah.
I did go to high school. Oh, man, that's awful. Because I personally went to high school with 2 people that, it's my understanding, either are, have been, or are currently on death row. Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
And one of them, he and I almost came to a conflict. He was an all right guy.
What was he doing? Stupid it?
No.
Was he being disrespectful?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened?
Well, see, what I couldn't figure out is I didn't understand where it was coming from. Okay. Because I didn't disrespect this guy at all.
Sure.
There was plenty to go after.
Sure, yeah.
On him. But I never treated him less. Never. He was okay. I didn't have a problem with him. Yeah. And then one day, it was during like a football camp.
Yeah.
I came out and I'd come out and I think we were leaving and I had come out and was putting my dirty laundry in the car and my supplies in the car, and we were in my car, and I was leaving.
Yeah.
And I came out and a pair of my underwear was hanging from my car antenna. Now, a car antenna to you kids in the audience is a long protruding metal bar, big around as the pin, probably the insert of a pen, the ink filled insert of a pen, maybe a little thicker, with a little round edge, little round circle at the end of it.
Yeah.
Dull and smooth. And that's how back in the day that we got the radio signals coming through the air. And so there was, and it was good for radio. Oh, and if you're ever in a parking lot and a fight go down, you can snap one off and use it as a weapon.
Could you ever replace radio antennas if something were like that would happen?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool, because I'm just like, I'm not saying it's a bad idea to do that in a self-defense situation. I'm just like...
defend yourself.
Yeah, but
anyway.
I'm just like, could that person replace the antenna? But they can't.
So a pair of my dirty laundry underwear were hanging from my antenna.
Uh-huh.
And...
you were just like, what?
I was just getting ready to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's over the line.
Yes.
I haven't...
That's your underwear.
I have been an asshole to many people, and a few were undeserving. I hope I have apologized, and there's a couple that if I ever catch on the street, they're going to get a big old grand apology. But
there's some people who deserve it.
I wouldn't pull a stunt like that.
Yeah.
And there were a couple of knuckleheads on the team. One of them was technically my best friend that might have pulled a stunt like that, but that wasn't his style.
Yeah. Just put a pair of your underwear on your own antenna.
Yeah. So I'm looking around and there's this guy I'm talking about there, and he is just cracking up. And he's not even on the football team.
Oh, that's even worse.
He's like in the band. He's like a drum.
Oh, you tell me
guy.
Some marching nerd.
Yeah.
Tries to do that.
He and you know, we'd had classes together.
Sure.
And he was always kind of a little bit of a goofball cut up. He was definitely not in the in crowd, per se.
Yeah.
Athletically or otherwise.
Yeah.
He was in his own little bubble.
Sure. I get it. I was like that.
He didn't seem to have a problem with it. He was like, okay, come on, guys, let's hang out. No, man, you're not cool enough to... No, it was never anything like that.
Sure.
That may have happened in his past, but I didn't see it happen. I only knew the guy from the ninth grade forward.
Mm-hmm.
So there was this moment where I'm thinking, I'm going to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Okay. But then my mind said, something is wrong here.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here. Because I had never treated him in a negative manner ever.
Yeah.
Much less me thinking, you know, oh, hey, you know, that didn't hurt. I hit you and, oh, that didn't hurt while you bitching. No, I had never engaged in anything negative against this guy.
You weren't a bully, nothing.
Not to this guy.
Yeah.
He and I had never had any kind of negative interaction as far as I knew.
Sure. And
yet he had done this. And I just stopped. Because my mind was just blazing. I'm like, something is wrong here, because I could count on both hands and both feet the number of people that would probably like to do something like that.
But they knew better.
Well, I'm not saying they knew better. I'm just saying that if it was going to come from someone, these other people would be thinking about it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden this comes out of the left field on this guy. And my mind just went. I was like, okay, man. You got me. And I put my underwear, I took my underwear, threw it in the car, and, you know, went back in the gym, get the rest of my stuff.
Yeah.
And then years later, As far as I know,
Mm-hmm.
he is on death row in this state.
Yeah, that's some good intuition right there.
I mean,
I definitely got that from you.
And it's my understanding, allegedly.
Yeah.
What if I was to say that everything that I've come into contact with, that none of the evidence is circumstantial? So I honestly and truly don't know the details.
But you know that.
But it's my understanding that him being there is not a misstep in the law. So yeah.
That's kind of murphed up a little.
And then another guy I played high school football with.
Yeah.
This guy actually played high school football with. He just happened to, at one time, the number one. This was like for 10 years, the number one guy, North American.
Yes.
On the FBI number one list.
Oh.
He resembled this guy in an uncanny way.
Oh no.
So I still don't know whether he and I think he did some jail time here in this state.
Come on.
It's not the same guy. They're two different guys.
Yeah, I was about to say
the number one guy, but he's a friend of mine.
Sure.
So if he's listening, he can kiss my ass. We're friends. I'll beat your ass, dude. I love you.
Hey. Stop making threats over the radio.
No, I'm just saying I love this guy.
Okay.
I love this guy.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
It's a joke. No, there was a dude that put him out of a ball game, and I put that guy out of the ball game. And he was a good friend of mine. I loved him. He and I kidded all the time. He and I did not share the same genetic background.
Sure.
I don't know. He and I just developed a rapport with each other. I love him to death.
Good.
He got knocked out of a linebacker for another team, took him out of a game in the first half, and I lost my mind in the locker room during halftime.
At the person
as
that
they were putting him in the ambulance, I told him, I said, I'm going to send that boy to you. Dude blindsided him. And that day
so he did him dirty.
Well, in that day it was a legal hit. Okay. And just because legal hits back then didn't mean there wasn't a retribution.
Yeah, I was about to say.
And I told him when they were loading him in the back of that ambulance that I was going to send him that guy. And I don't know if that guy actually made it to the hospital, but they did carry him off that field in the second quarter. But anyway, he was he looked like this guy. And like I said, I don't know whether he actually has done a crime that serious.
Sure.
I have heard, and it's been a long time, that yes, he is guilty of crimes that serious.
Sure.
I don't know. I haven't done the research, so I'm just going to say I have personally run across two people.
Yeah.
Who are death row death row related.
Yeah. Man, your generation sounds a lot, well, I don't want to say more fun or more cool, because here's the thing. I don't personally know anyone that's in jail or even on death row, but I know a couple people from my high school who have unalived themselves, as the kids say.
I know, man.
And I'm like, okay, so I'm just kind of curious about, okay, the previous generations, it's like, okay, you got killed or you're in jail. That's like the worst thing, quote unquote, worst things you could have done.
Yeah.
In my current generation, it's like you got someone pregnant or got pregnant early.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You're addicted to something, and or homeless, or you unalived yourself.
Right.
And I'm like, there's a kind of a little bit of a disconnect. I don't know if it's never been that way or always been that way, or it's just a changing of seasons and times, but that's something I've noticed. But then again, one of the high schools I went to, the rich one, they have an entire hallway dedicated to the people who have, for various reasons, been enrolled in their school and have died.
Right.
For various reasons. Like entire hallway stretching back to the 40s.
It's,
And so I'm just like, huh? What? What's going on?
you almost got two dynamics. I mean, you got a dynamic of people who maybe aren't consciously aware
Sure.
that they don't. It's possible. This is a suggestion and a possible observation on my part. I'm not categorizing anybody. Forgive my language if it offends. I am trying to, and it really won't.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
I'm just trying to put out my perspective, and one of the reasons that in my mind, that there is unrest in urban areas is there's too many people that don't have anything to live for.
I suppose
anybody that would fight a cop. Now, I have got physical with a cop, pushed.
Sure.
He said I hit him. I didn't hit him. I pushed him really hard.
Yeah, I don't believe all cops are bastards, but I believe all cops are punks. Because there's a difference.
Yeah, flick that switch on them, and then you get what Anyway,
so I mean, some can be.
It's more about what's going on in the community to me.
Yeah.
It's what's going on in the community, what's going on in the home that gives this person license to exchange blows with someone who has a legal right to shoot you dead.
And has the ability to shoot you dead. And is
trained to shoot you dead.
Yeah, that is always I get it.
And I just don't think they have anything to live for.
Yeah, I mean, I look at stuff like that and I go, okay, I get it. There are obviously bad cops. There are bad people everywhere.
There's bad people everywhere.
No, I get that. I'm not diminishing the fact that this is a problem and that there should be some sort of oversight, although what form that takes, I don't know. But there are still a number of people who willingly go out to try and legitimately combat the police. I don't mean like people who are protesting, thinking they're all big and bad, and then as soon as guns get drawn, they retreat. No. I mean the legit people who try physically try to kill.
Now, there are people that...
And I'm like, why?
That leave the house with the intention of instigating some type of conflict.
Sure. But that's the thing.
Well, my generation, a cop was the last person you wanted to see.
Yes. Technically, in this generation, that's still true.
Yeah. And I think the perspective might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
So to contrast that with a demographic group of people who feel they don't have anything to live for, therefore they engage in a dangerous type activity.
A death wish.
Mm-hmm. Then we have the opposite extreme that might be some type of dynamic that might have something to do with that hall of lost students that you had to walk and be reminded. I mean, it's a reputation.
Yes.
It's a community's reputation. I mean, they're very successful.
Yeah.
There are very affluent.
Do you think that hallway could be a form of penance?
Well, what I'm trying to get to is they enjoy life to a level where they don't worry about the negative aspect of it. Where people on the opposite end of the structure, into the spectrum, they all they know is the negative.
Yes.
So they don't have anything to live for. And then you have the people on the opposite end that don't have any type of frame of reference.
Yeah.
Of the negative. So they act in ways that some would say would be careless.
Sure.
Because they have always been in an environment where everything was all right. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to work out. And most of the time, that does.
That rings true.
Does ring true. But there are those personalities that push that envelope.
And they do.
And I think that is the key element to both sides of that fence.
The people that push the envelope.
There are people that push that element. Does that make them legendary and worth praise?
I guess it depends.
It depends on the motive, I think.
Yeah.
If it's just recklessness, don't tell me not to walk on the grass. Damn it, I'm an outlaw.
If it's being difficult for the sake of being difficult,
I don't think there's any honor in that. I don't really.
No.
I mean, I don't care how the end. Well, for the most part.
For the most part.
How the end comes.
It depends.
It depends.
Like, that's what it boils down to, is it depends. What's the context?
But you have these people shaping all these different narratives.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to sift through truth and lies.
It really is.
So I just say, okay, it's all lies. That's why I don't watch the news anymore, because I'm just like, I don't care. You're going to spin it however you want it spun, so it doesn't matter.
Regardless of what it is.
Regardless of what it is.
Yeah, so it's the same story over and it's the same through line over and over, and they just change the curtains or change the wallpaper, but it's the same story over and over and over. And that's what I can't understand what people can't see.
I don't know. That actually reminds me, there is a book that you're going to read. Okay. There is no, oh, hey, this is cool, I think you should read it. No. Not optional. I don't care how you get it. I don't care if you get a physical form of it, because I have a PDF copy. Okay. It's called The 4 Agreements by Miguel Ruiz. I think that's how you say his name. It's R-U-I-S. Or Z, excuse me. Z. Ruiz. Ruiz. I don't speak Spanish, or... Yeah.
Well, if there's an S, like more Brazilian or Portugal, but if it's a Z, then it's Mexican, Spanish. Yeah. Spain, Spanish.
Yeah. So...
Usually, it's my understanding.
Usually. Yeah. So I'm not trying to be insulting by mispronouncing his name. That's just who he is. That book...
The 4 what?
The 4 Agreements. I started reading it yesterday because what I've done is, I was given the idea because at my previous job, I had like a laptop where I could plug in my flash drive and I could do all sorts of reading and streaming. This new job, I can't do that. Just too many cameras and I don't have my laptop. And we can't stick things into the work computers because they'll know.
Oh.
How do you know? We know. Like,
you have to bring your own.
Yeah. Or someone gave me the idea. Now, initially the idea was to put it on a tablet, but I ain't got the money for that right now.
Right.
So I decided, okay, I'm going to email myself, like PDF copies of books, and then I'll download them to my phone and use like a universal book reader, because there are different files. There's PDF, EPUB, which is like Kindle books, and various other things. Right. And then I'll read it on my phone and I'll be at work. Yeah. So I take books with me.
Sure.
And that's how I started reading The 4 Agreements. I had time yesterday and I started it up and I almost finished it.
Really?
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm not saying I'm not saying I'm a slow reader, because it ebbs and flows, depends on how good the book is.
Yes.
But the fact that I nearly finished it in a day, the only time that's happened was the book The Giver. I did that in middle school. I finished that in one day. It was either The Giver or The Gift. It's the one with the, that one is the one with, like, this not really dystopian, but really organized society where this kid has been chosen to receive the memories of this old man, which is stuff like he remembers what war is, what famine is, what hardship is.
Oh, I see.
So he basically is like the elder of this society.
Oh, that sounds very interesting.
Oh, it's a good story. But that book, I finished it in a day because it just captured me, and it is a short book, you know. But the 4 Agreements, it brought me a level of peace that I have not known in several months.
Cool.
I'm not saying that the past several months have been turbulent.
No.
And I don't want to say I was depressed the past couple of months.
I mean, we're still all recovering.
We're still all recovering. Yeah, we're still recovering from the beer flu.
Absolutely.
But
we still don't understand the full societal ramifications.
Oh, we're not going to get to that at least a decade. We're going to get to that like a decade down the road.
Well, definitely 5 years.
5 to 10 years.
5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically what this book is talking about is, now this is not a slam against you as a parent, or even the matriarch as a parent. Okay. Now, without getting into too many details, without going into a straight up book review, because I haven't finished it.
Right.
The book talks about how, when we're born, we do not choose what the author calls agreements.
External agreements?
Or
with those around us?
Or internal agreements.
Internal related to agreement with what?
I'll get to that.
Okay.
What he refers to, I think the best way I can describe what he means by agreements is these little sort of deals you make with yourself, your family, the society around you. Right.
Yourself would be internal.
The teachers, yes.
The society and family around you would be external. That's what I'm curious about.
Yes. Basically, it's the stuff like, when he calls it like when you're in school, he says it's called education, but it really is a domestication. Does this sound intriguing to you? Have I caught your interest?
That's exactly why your early education was structured that way.
Oh, I know. Homeschool for life. Don't be lazy. Do it.
We've talked about that.
Yes.
You see something, you really can't define it, and
you know
it's there, and you see a pattern, and it's just like,
I don't think so.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Basically,
I saw that very young.
So he basically calls a lot of people, he calls the early education system a domestication of the human mind, where you are basically fed all of these things, because the mind, he compares it to a fertile field.
Absolutely.
And what you speak with your mouth he defines it as something that is actual magic, is the word.
Yes, it is.
The power of the spoken word.
Yes, it is.
And that when we're young, our mind, and even when you're an adult, your mind is so fertile because the word acts as a seed in a farmer's field. And once a seed has been planted, it can be nurtured and grown. So he says, an agreement would be something like you told someone that they're stupid, and if their mind was in a certain way, like you got their attention, you planted a seed that maybe they are stupid, and then that grows, and even though they could be the smartest person in the country, or more so, they still believe they're stupid, and they act accordingly.
Yes.
Technically, that is an agreement.
Yes.
As defined in this book.
Yes.
Like I said, not to get into too many details. You're going to have to read the book if you want more details.
Sounds good.
So the 4 agreements are as follows. And again, there's more details in the book. You have got to read it.
Sure.
The first agreement, be impeccable with your word.
Absolutely.
And not word as in your promise, although that can be applicable.
Yes. What
he means by impeccable is, he broke impeccable as peccable. I think he said peccable is, Latin-wise means sin, and means without. So impeccable means without sin.
Yes.
So basically you speak in a positive and loving way. You don't go around saying that people are stupid, or you don't go around saying, they need to be quiet, that they're ugly, that, they're not worth a damn.
Yeah, don't...
Spreading poison, as he puts it.
Don't speak sin, speak love.
Yes.
Yes.
That is the first agreement that you make with yourself.
If you want to have a good life.
Do not spew poison.
Not spew poison, nope.
The second agreement. I'm trying to remember what agreement was. I'm trying to remember which order it comes in.
Okay.
Okay, I think the second one in the order it comes in is do not take anything personally. And I mean anything.
That's definitely a freeing thought.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Like nothing negative, but nothing positive.
Yeah, that's forgiveness.
Too. Yes.
That's forgiveness.
Nothing negative and nothing positive either. If someone were to say, if someone were to say, you're dumb, they're talking about themselves as well as you, because that whole equal and opposite reaction.
Mm.
So you don't take that personally, because that's someone dealing with their own self too.
Right.
You know. But if someone says, you're fantastic, you know you're fantastic. You don't need someone to tell you you're fantastic for you to be fantastic.
That's a very good point.
Yes.
Never thought about it.
So that, again, that's them dealing with themselves as well.
Oh, and if you accept it, it corrupts you.
It can, yes.
Oh, yeah, that's cool.
The third agreement, do not make assumptions.
Yeah.
Something I am horrible with.
Me too.
Because for the past couple of days, I've just been like, oh my God, my friends, guy I'm going steady with, I don't know, like, is it worth it, honestly? And then I read this book and it's like, you know what? I'm just letting my mind run away with me.
Right.
Run away without me.
Right.
So, you know, you make assumptions about people. You base things on these assumptions that are not true because you haven't proven it to be true.
Well, yeah. Then you take those assumptions and you spin them in the most positive way possible,
or most negative way possible,
Mm-hmm. But you
then base your reality.
Well,
off
that's
of
where
this.
you have to pull back and say,
is this actually you?
Right.
Is this your reality?
Is my input to the situation based on only on how it affects me?
Yes. Or is this an actual thing?
Yeah,
that's part of that whole don't make assumptions. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
The fourth one, this is the chapter I haven't gotten through yet.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I'm trying to think. Assumptions. Always do your best.
Sure.
And he defines always doing your best as, you know, it can change. Hour by hour.
Mine definitely has.
Day by day. You know, you were obviously more tired at night. You were obviously more energized in the morning.
I used to be a rock star. Woo!
But if you set out to do your best, and your best is hypothetically not a good quality, you still don't feel guilt. You do not feel guilt because that was your best.
Oh, this is so wonderful. Hey, it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. Everybody thinks that's some kind of sportsmanship type quote. It is not. It is a gamesmanship quote. What it says is for you as an individual.
Yes.
At the end of the competition, for you to be sane and happy, you will have had to have done your best. Doesn't matter whether you win or lose.
But you've done your best.
So if you train and you live life in a manner that you are giving your best, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose.
Yes.
Because you basically...
And you don't feel bad if you lose.
You don't feel bad if how it is defined as losing by people or by society or whatever. You know that you've given it your best, so there is a peace in that. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Absolutely. And if you're ever going to find peace, you will have to find that point.
Yeah, you will have to find that peace within yourself.
Because if you win, and then you start to lose,
then and
then if you lose, you win, and then that corrupts people as well.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it does. So yeah, absolutely.
So that's why I want you to read this book too.
Well, that sounds pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. Now here's the thing. I'm basically in this weird mode where I'm not saying I'm. This is not negative. What I have to say. I'm not. Basically, I'm just trying to find my own path, as I've said probably a couple of weeks ago, several months ago.
Yeah, and I'm trying to.
You're trying to revamp some stuff?
Well, no, what I'm trying to do with your path is I'm trying to like I just said,
Yeah.
I'm trying to measure my input.
Yes. No, I get it. No, your input
I have to filter. I literally have to run it through, and it just occurred to me today that is my input based on what I want,
yes.
or what I think is best for me.
Sure.
But this is your path.
Yes.
And I have to. Number one, I have to respect that, and embrace the concept of yes. Even my mistakes were made with love. So the best, the best outcome will take place. Yes. Even though, not all outcomes are tear free.
Sure. But not all roads lead to Rome too.
No, that's true. Absolutely.
This is it.
4 agreements. Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
You might have to get like this PDF reader right here in order to read it, because this is not a PDF file. But that's up to you.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm just gonna email. I'm just gonna email it to you.
That's fine. That'll work.
But seriously, you gotta.
I need to read something because I need.
Yes, you do.
I am in a slump right now.
You have got to read this book.
I'm in a slump.
Because this thing, it's like a second opinion.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Right. See, every time I deal with what's going on in society, especially something as big as this, I was raised on apocalyptic doctrine. So as much as I have fought off the weight and burden, that type of, and it does enlighten and lighten people, but it also can burden you.
Yes.
I've been dealing with these thoughts, these apocalyptic thoughts, trying to function based on what's going on today, and it's just what I eventually have to understand is, is that everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
And, that...
I'm listening.
It's not the end of the world.
No, not today.
Not today.
No.
Not today.
No, I'll believe when the world's ending, when it happens.
When it happens. And you know what? If it does happen, what are you going to do? You're just going to go... Crap. That's it.
There you go. I sent it to you.
Cool. Thank you.
All right.
Yes,
please, for the love of God, read this book.
Right.
Like, I wouldn't push it if it wasn't good.
I'm sure.
Because it's given me some peace. Because here's the thing. It's not that because of the upbringing I've had, you as the preacher man and me, the grandchild as preacher man. I'm not saying that never gave me structure.
Right.
But this is a very concrete way of being like, hey, stop fucking around.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's a very clear-cut, something to put on the skeleton of your beliefs. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I mean, a lot of times, the thing that halts us or
causes us to stumble, or
congeals us is a lack of understanding. Sometimes, there's a barrier somewhere in your mind.
Yes.
And if you could just find that, you could just find the latch to that gate.
This is the latch to the gate.
Cool.
Because
I like stuff like that.
I don't have any problems with the book of the T-posing religion.
Sure.
But sometimes I genuinely don't have any issues with it, but sometimes it can be wrapped up in a lot of spin.
Oh, yeah.
Like certain editions of the T-posing religion book.
Sure.
It can be wrapped up in so much spin to where I just without me studying different versions and going over different interpretations, I just go like, this doesn't help me.
Right.
To me,
I mean, that's just human interaction. I mean, every document that's ever been written, I mean,
has just been kind of
from the Bible
polluted.
to Quran to the Torah, the Declaration of Independence. I mean,
Bill of Rights.
Bill of Rights. There's all these different perspectives.
That's kind of the problem.
Suggestions and arguments. Some hold and some don't.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem I'm currently having with the Bible and the Torah too, because I read that too.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, this evangelical stuff with Jesus first, barbecue second, or whatever these people want.
Well,
because we live in a general area where it's Jesus, football, barbecue in that order.
Yeah.
As a rule, sometimes it changes, but that's basically it. But the problem is that here's the thing: Jesus said to read the laws of Moses, which is the Torah. They don't do that, and I laugh.
No. And if they,
I shouldn't
if
laugh.
if they did, they wouldn't. There's a whole lot of.
There's a whole lot.
They're taking a whole lot of junk right now. People who don't even believe what they believe, but they're allowing themselves to be told how they believe because they hadn't read the original law.
Yeah.
And their critics haven't read the original law either, because if their critics had read the original law, they wouldn't be critics.
Indeed.
But
that's kind of my biggest problem.
No, they need to read it and they need to understand it.
No, I know, but that's currently right now.
That's tools in a toolbox right there.
Oh, I know. I haven't given up on these things. It's just at this particular moment, there is so much conjecture and so much interpretation to where I go, I can't get anything out of this because there's so much doctrine and pollution surrounding it.
That's exactly why you have to read it for yourself.
Yes. No, I know.
And you have to be in the right mind.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm not in the frame of mind.
Well, I'm going to tell you something. I believe a true believer. Somebody who is genuinely seeking the truth, although it will tick them off if they run across it and from a source that they don't want to receive it from.
Sure.
When the truth hits them, they've got no choice.
Yes.
Because
the truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth. So even if you, that's why you hear these stories of people who are like atheists and they hated the King James and then they read it and it completely converts them because they are genuinely looking for the truth of something.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the truth. They are looking for the truth of something. And that book makes such a big impact on them.
Yes.
And the reason that they hated it, honestly and truly, was because of what they believed other people told them and said, this is what it says.
Sure, yeah.
Just read it.
Yeah. What's it going to do?
What's it going to do?
Stab
What's the worst thing going to happen? Okay.
Yeah, what's it going to do? Stab you?
Are you sure I'm going to get a paper cut with those really thin pages? So, yeah.
It's childproof for you.
That's right. And I would say that about any book you got a problem with.
Oh, yeah. Like any of them.
Any of them.
Not just the Brobel.
No.
Actually, depending on which holy book, and it's the one where you can't draw their guy, depending on how you interpret that one could get you in some hot water.
Yeah, the only thing I had an issue with was this reoccurring theme. And the only reason that it was a reoccurring theme to me was that I had already read a book that wasn't written this way. So the comparison contrast was glaring. And that,
how so?
That contrast with the book of those you can't draw their guy was they seemed to be in this constant mode of appeasement. When talking about their guy.
Their guy.
You're the greatest, you're the greatest, you're the greatest. Hey, over here, you're the greatest too. You're the greatest, you're the greatest. Hey,
it just seemed like constant reinforcement of positivity towards their guy.
There was this constant, active, expected, calculated worship that just kind of threw me off. Although that sort of thing was expected in the previous book.
Yes.
But it wasn't, I mean, it was wholesale. Okay, you're paying... The book you can't draw their guy, you're paying retail, okay, because you're having to do it every day, all day long, and then the wholesale basically was thinking continuously, speaking with it continuously is cool, but really, one day a week. So,
Sure.
you're getting discount.
That's terrible.
It is terrible. But I don't know how, what if we're going to put in terms of modern lexicon for crying out
Sure.
loud. Gee whiz.
I just have this weird, it's just this weird contrast where the book where you can't draw their guy, it is in this weird constant reinforcement that their guy is the greatest of all, all the time.
Like,
or at least 95% of the time.
I don't know, I kind of
But in the Brobel, there are times when people in that book were angry with God, or they were accursed by God.
Actually wrestled
or
with agents of.
Yeah. Was it Jacob? Or Isaac? Like someone physically wrestled with an aspect of God.
Yes.
Like one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, one of them. What was that about, actually? Is that the story of the ladder?
That's the Jacob's Ladder story.
Jacob's Ladder story. Which is weird, and I still cannot wrap my head around it. I'm like, what is the meaning?
There is.
Dude is traveling in the fucking desert. I don't remember why he's in the desert. It's like Africa, Middle East region. There's a fucking desert, okay? So, he's in the desert, and at some point he, walks along either God or, a high-ranking angel to where he can't tell the difference or something like that. I'm obviously just spitballing some of the details. It's been a while.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
Because it just broke my fucking brain.
Yeah, we need to sit down. We need to have a reaction show.
Yeah. Just read stuff and be like, what the hell is going on?
Watch it and have a podcast where we react to it.
Jacob's Ladder, the movie?
Yeah, why not?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with it has some things to do with the religion, the T-posing religion book. But
we could watch it and then have a show about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we could do a live react.
Either way.
Like a Mr. Science Theater.
Yeah.
We could do that. I want to do that.
Sure.
But basically,
I can't stop the riffing.
Hey, I love doing that.
Okay.
So in the Brobel, this guy's in the desert. He's walking along with this aspect of God or possibly a high-ranking angel. They wrestle, and at some point he has a dream about either a stairway to heaven, Led Zeppelin, or a ladder. Basically, a way to ascend to heaven.
Yeah.
And then something about a fucking starship people have interpreted, but it could be the stars, like an actual zodiac.
I'm not saying it was aliens.
But it was aliens. And because it's that section of the Brobel where people say, "Oh, look, there were aliens that were talking about lights in the sky." What if it's constellations talking about astrology? Speaking of astrology, not to segue away from a religious argument, though God knows I could use one. Well, not an argument, a discussion.
Sure.
Argument implies semi-hostile back and forth.
Sure.
Semi-hostile. Semi. I mean, it's not like you and I are William F. Buckley or anything.
No.
No.
Actually.
But speaking of astrology, I think it's real.
What part? Where star positions have an input on things that go on this planet? Please don't tell me that. I mean,
look,
the moon is one thing. I see the gravitational pull, the whole flow thing related to the moon. But no, I don't.
No, there has to be something to it.
Well, I mean, listen.
I'm not saying that should be your. I'm not saying that should be your basis for everything you encounter. No, that shouldn't be. It's not like the scientific method where it gives you repeatable results.
Where's the Rosetta Stone?
What do you mean?
Where's the thing that? Okay.
Oh, where's the source?
Where's the translation from what I'm looking at to how it affects events here on Earth.
I'm still looking for the source of it.
What I'm saying is,
but it goes back thousands of years.
Oh, sure, but and I'm not saying that enough data wasn't collected back then.
Sure.
To make some type of description or prediction or something. As far as I know, we are living in the age going back to the Gutenberg press. Where we, for the first time in human history, have the ability to copy information and hand it down from generation to generation. And look where we are now. We're in the digital age where, at least in my mind, I can't imagine how that is going to change. Definitely not in my lifetime. But over the generations,
barring a nuclear apocalypse,
which that would be an interesting reset if all 100 years from now, if all information was digitalized and then all of a sudden somebody pulled the plug.
Yeah, aside, that's
talk about the dark ages.
Yes.
Everybody'd have to start from scratch.
Yes. Yeah, barring total...
Don't eat those plants. Those will kill you.
Barring a complete societal collapse, I can't see how it would evolve in the next 100 years either.
Yeah. So.
And I'm going to live some of that.
Yeah.
No, I think aspects of it are real.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I have lived through the last 10 years. Have so far as things that I came across in my religious upbringing.
Yes.
Not from the pulpit that my father spoke of, not from the congregations that I interacted with, but I have heard doctrine related to, in the last 10 years, different astrological positions of heavenly bodies and entities.
Yes.
To bring about certain events, and I have seen those events, which were clearly predicted in the past.
Yes.
But and it's not. I'm not saying that you can't predict these combinations of constellations.
Sure.
What I'm saying is to attach meaning to that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm not saying that I'm closed off to it.
Sure.
I'm just saying that I'd like to feel more assured.
Sure.
About what I'm hearing people say this means. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. You want the you want the peer-reviewed study.
Well,
because I'm the same way. Because here's the thing, I'm not saying it doesn't have any valid... I'm not saying it's 100% true, but I'm also saying it's not 100% meaningless. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I saw some crazy...
I guess there's...
Because the other day, I saw some crazy shit.
Okay.
Like a good friend of mine...
Right.
He was, something happened.
Yeah.
He and I were hanging out, at like a Starbucks or something, because he's a bitch. Kinda. It wasn't my choice. I'm not a Starbucks person, I'm just gonna tell you that.
No.
I have there's one drink they have that I'll buy if I'm made to go there, that's it.
You're a brunette.
Yes. You can tell from the photo. But the cashier person, I do my order, he's doing his order, and she's just looking at him going, "You're an Aries." And he's like, "Yeah?" And she looks at him going, "Oh, you're in debt." And he is. He has student loans. And he's like, "Yeah?" She said, "Yeah. A while ago, you lost something important." And a couple days prior, 3 days prior, he had ripped his best work pants. And then she's like, "Okay, the thing you're looking forward to doing, don't do it." He wants to go to Arby's and now he's scared of going to Arby's. And I'm like, what the kind of witchcraft is this?
Gotta leave that stuff alone.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, hey, no. Because here's the thing. The reason why, I mean, that's not the only example.
Right.
Because, nowadays everyone's all like, ooh, I'm a Gemini. Ooh, I'm a Virgo.
Oh, really? Is that coming back around?
Yeah, it's coming back around.
That was real big in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, that shit's coming back around.
What's your sign?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know my sign. That's only because so I can make people shut the hell up.
Yeah, that's my sign. Shut the hell up.
Yeah, because apparently, not only that, but apparently I have a particular sign that makes people afraid of me. No, I mean, like, people who know astrology, I tell them what my thing is, and they're like, oh. And they, like, back away slowly. So I think I'm doing it right.
Well, and like I said, I mean, it based on their perception. I mean, the same people could meet the same personality in me.
Yes.
And according to my sign, I'm completely opposite.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you are an air sign, technically, but whatever.
Water.
I don't want to discuss it on the air.
Water.
For some reason, Aquarius is actually air.
Really?
Seriously, let me Google this. Yeah, I know. That's what I was like. Wait, what the fuck is this?
I mean, technically, it's just thick oxygen.
Yes, water is thick oxygen.
Probably was a time the oxygen, the oceans were pure oxygen, and the only. Wait a minute.
Yeah, water is premium oxygen.
Wait a minute. Oxygen is
O.
O.
Water is H2O.
So 2 O's and a hydrogen. Because water is not.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Water is not, and air is not as pure as it used to be. They know that the oxygen content of air and water was much higher.
Yes, it was.
In the distant past.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting.
It's very interesting.
Maybe that's why the dinosaurs were so big. There were dinosaurs, people!
Yeah, there were.
The Earth is not 10,000 years old, I'm telling you! Okay, okay. I had to remember. What element is this? Stop! No, I don't want to fucking zodiac. Yeah, it's an air.
It's an air.
It's a water thing, but it's also an air because fuck you.
All right. What inane, abstract, irritating thing are we going to talk about next?
I don't know. You got the clipboard over there.
Oh, I got a clipboard.
Yeah. It says strengths: humanitarian, modern, analytical, challenges, unreliable, extremist, chaotic.
For who?
The sign that you are, apparently. And I'm like, But the reason why astrology is just so, I don't know how complex, it apparently can get complex based off of that, what I've been told by people who read that stuff.
Right.
There's like your sun sign, which is your normal sign, and there's like what type of moon you were born under, and then all the fucking planets in the solar system and whatever house they're in, and it's like, stop.
Oh yeah, it can get real. I mean, that happens. That's why you can stand and you can stand on the front steps of a local church.
Yes.
Throw a rock and hit another church.
Yes.
Because there are all these different interpretations of the same source information.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be honest, the only ones I pay attention to is my sun and my moon, and that's basically it. Because it's like, I'm done with this complicated bullshit.
And don't forget my lucky mood chart.
Yes. My lucky number is 7.
Good grief.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm not saying it's 100% real, but I'm not discounting it either. Does that make sense?
Sure.
But then again, I have a gift of some sorts in that realm, not the stars.
No.
But in the physical
plane. I'm sure there's some kind of,
So I'm not discounting it.
No.
Not 100%. There's some things I will straight up discount, like colloidal silver. No. Don't do that to yourself. Do not become
It might have an application, but I don't know
you're
going to
turn into Papa Smurf.
Papa Smurf. You ever seen that guy?
Yes, I've seen Blue Santa.
Blue Santa.
Yeah, I've seen that guy. But I'm sorry, I just had to look that up. Yeah, you got the clipboard. You tell me.
All right.
Is this time for your Wheel of Death?
Yes.
Yes.
You wanted the best. You got the best. The hottest blend in the world.
All right, you.
Kiss. Okay.
You want to talk about Kiss?
Get up and get your grandma out of here.
Hey, I'm not gonna.
Brown. Okay. No, I watched their documentary.
They got a documentary?
Yeah, it just came out in the last month. I mean, it's the latest documentary.
Yeah.
Kistory. You're so clever.
Hey, look. Hey, look. In the history of Kiss puns, and they're out there.
Sure they are. And they probably get a nickel every time somebody says it.
Thank you, Gene Simmons.
Thank you, Gene Simmons.
In the history of Kiss puns, that's actually not bad.
You know what?
Because Kiss put themselves on everything.
I had an epiphany earlier.
What?
Everything that Ozzy Osbourne has done, blind, stinking, drunk,
yes,
Gene Simmons has done, stone cold sober.
Really?
Yes.
Do you care to elaborate on that?
I'm just saying. No. You think of all this crazy, wild, out of control stuff that Ozzy's done, and he doesn't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Gene has never had a drink.
Yeah.
Never smoked a cigarette.
Yeah.
Never no weed, nothing. His entire life. He is completely ego driven. That guy's a fucking robot. That's all I can tell you.
I believe it.
But anyway, I
believe it.
I can tell you from personal experience, when they came out, I was in the 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, which is middle school. And Kiss scared the shit out of this country.
Oh, if only King Diamond had come out earlier.
Listen, King Diamond would have never made it to these.
I know.
They'd have thrown him out of New York.
Oh, I know.
No, but.
And I like King Diamond.
Kiss was. Well, you wouldn't have King Diamond if it wasn't for Kiss.
I know.
So, and I'm just a casual fan.
Yeah.
I don't own any of their. Well, I don't think I do.
You probably. I would bet
in the past I would
bet you have at least one CD.
No, shirt.
No, you
do. That was turned into a pajama shirt.
Yes, we have one.
But that wasn't my shirt. It was your patriarch shirt.
Matriarch
shirt. There
yes. But still.
But I didn't. Well, I guess technically, yes, I did purchase it. But anyway. But no, they came out with another. I would assume.
Yeah.
Will be their non. Wait a minute. Oh, it's working. Their last non-posthumous documentary. Because the next one, they're all going to be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all going to be in the. Well, I don't think Gene Simmons is ever going to be in the ground.
He's going
to have himself stuffed and donated to the Smithsonian or something.
That's the type of dude where he is going to put his brain in a robot body just so he can continue making money.
Oh man, no, I don't think it was his original idea. It's my understanding that it was their manager idea to merchandise. But Gene has
He took that and ran with it.
He took that. Fucking ran with it.
And good for him. I think he's an asshole, but hey, look, a smart businessman is a smart businessman.
I mean,
Yeah, I give him credit.
Yeah, I give a guy
Plus, I don't give Kiss a lot of shit because they, in the beginning, when you hear them talk, and I guess even to this day, depending, when you talk to them and say, like, they're not all hoity-toity with these lofty artistic visions.
No.
They will tell you they started this band to be famous, play instruments, and get laid.
That's it.
I respect that, because they're honest about it.
Right.
And I'm like, that's fine. You do you.
You do you.
Yeah. I don't like, obviously this changes if I like the musician's stuff.
Sure.
But as a rule, I don't like it when musicians are all like, oh, my work is art. You ask me, what does this song mean?
Yeah.
And that's the meaning.
What does the song mean?
Yeah, I remember catching a clip of, I think it was, I don't know if I should say this guy's name because he's in a lot of trouble. Marilyn Manson.
Oh, he's always been in some kind of...
Yeah, he's always been embroiled in some stupid shit, be it hit by his own hand or somebody else's.
I don't know any other hand that's caused him problems.
Fair enough, but, I remember several years ago, I caught a clip of, like, an interview, before, this is, like, in between whatever issues he's been having, and clearly this is, he's not trying to be a complete shock rocker anymore. He's, like, leaned into some kind of weird, dark, savant, artsy flotation thing.
Yeah.
And people ask him, like, what does this album mean? And he says, that's the meaning. And I'm like, you fucking pansy.
Let's contrast him with the longevity of a band like Kiss. Okay, Kiss basically, through trial and error, because they didn't get it right away, through trial and error, they realized that the iconography that they had created was appreciated in a way that they clearly didn't understand early on. And that's why you have in the middle... You have them changing techniques.
Yes.
Because they think this is the natural progression of the music around them, when their original formula, which they now do to this day, to the letter, to the nth degree, they found what was working. They found what was working. They screwed around with it and fucked it up. And went back to the original formula and realized that they were right the first time around. Yeah. And that's cool. And
that's fine.
And when they walked off the stage, even though people treated them like Jesus, they didn't think they were Jesus.
Yes.
As opposed to Mr. Manson, who, when he came off the stage,
he still thought he was God.
He began to drink his own Kool-Aid.
Yes.
And that's what messed him up. I don't.
That was Jim Jones,
he have had? I think he tapped into something. It was a little more shocky. Uncomfortable.
I think that
than I would care for.
Yeah, I'm not
visually.
Visually. I think personally with Marilyn Manson stuff, honestly I like his cover. Some of his covers more than his actual original music. His music had a specific sound. Sure, and I can respect that. I don't like it, but
that was amplified by his persona, but he carried that persona off the stage, and I think that's what caused his problems.
I also like to say that a lot of his other problems was because when he got super big, it was obviously in the 90s, and in the 90s, he was part of this whole backlash to basically the remnants of that moral majority aspect of America. It kind of got the ball rolling in the 70s and 80s.
You think he was a reaction to that? He was part of the backlash. But he wasn't the backlash. He was a part of the beginning of it. It's like GTA.
Yes.
Okay, somebody had to stand up and do something.
Sure.
Okay, you may not appreciate.
Sure. I'm just saying that back there were
the
parts...
original motives, but the original motives are very simple. They're just looking out for people. Now, how they choose to wrap it in doctrine and flag.
Yeah, I think that's part of the problem.
You have to be able to filter that out.
Sure. But I think part of it was there were aspects of the 90s where, especially in the video game industry, where if it wasn't like on a friendly kids TV show or it didn't have a Lisa Franklin sticker on it, it was actively trying to seduce you into the armies of the Antichrist. And that's how a lot of people played it up.
Well, that's how they define things.
Correct. And I'm not saying that's wrong per se, but you have to temper that, because not every single entertainer is the Antichrist. They did it with Kiss, they've done it with Marilyn Manson, they did it with David Bowie.
Right.
And a little bit with the Beatles. At a certain point.
I guess any time when you have these events, these collections that have such a huge social impact.
Yes.
First of all, you have to expect some pushback.
Yes, there will be some pushback.
And we talked about earlier.
Yes.
Should take things personal.
No.
There's a whole bunch of people that are defining certain types of pushback that's based on race. No, it isn't.
No, it isn't.
It wouldn't. No, the people wouldn't care what certain people in this country are pushing. The opposing side wouldn't care if you're purple.
Yeah.
They have an issue with the ideology, and the people on the other side of the fence are trying to wrap it in hate. And that's not going to have a positive outcome regardless of who is, quote unquote, the winner.
Yeah, I know. I just think it's personally funny how throughout history they've basically attached the label of, oh, this entertainer is the Antichrist to so many people. David Bowie, Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness.
Who's just a drunk old weird British guy. Yeah,
he's just being theatrical. Like the music video for Bark at the Moon. That's hilarious.
It's hilarious, yeah.
Yeah, that's just hilarious.
Yeah.
And, they attach that label to so many people that nowadays, with people like, people like in the black metal community, and I think Ghost a little bit, even though Ghost mostly just covers ABBA songs for some reason.
Right.
I'm not going to question it, but Ghost, Slayer, I would say Slayer definitely, they definitely had that title because it's Slayer. But basically nowadays you have these bands who are throwing this infernal imagery at people, and no one cares. Honestly, and I say that because the only band/musician that is throwing this infernal imagery at the audience that I like is King Diamond. Because he's awesome.
Well, yeah.
I'm not a fan of black metal, and I'm not a huge fan of Ghost.
I already told you, ever since I saw this popular Norwegian death metal band.
Yeah.
They were talking about, they're like, we worship Satan. Like they were going to scare the crap out of me. I'm like, is this guy serious? I thought it was tongue in cheek. Ooh. But no, this dude was stone cold serious, which told me,
he was an ass clown.
Is that was your clown?
Yeah. Was that your interpretation?
Playing parties in backyards that I've never visited. Because, if that's what gets you off, is you think whatever it is you profess scares the shit out of people.
I mean,
you're going to run out of fuel. So
I will say this: the community of musicians that quote unquote worship the devil, whether they do or not,
right?
I will say this: they come up with some of the best band names and song titles of all time. I'm going to tell you something.
I mean, there is another side of the coin.
Yeah.
There are people that believe that things are good.
Yes.
We should keep things good, and we should fight to
maintain the goodliness.
The goodliness. And then there are people that believe the exact opposite, that the more we destroy, the more we fester, the more we rot, the faster the end will come. So we act in a way that
encourages
that.
I'm just saying, why can't we have both? Because life is about balance.
Because that's what balance is.
You can't.
And that might be what balances everything out. I don't know.
Yeah, you can't have pure darkness and pure light. Because darkness will consume everything, but light can oppress everything.
Light, as soon as light arrives, darkness leaves.
Yes.
What else is there?
I know. I'm just saying you can't really have one without the other. Because what is one without the other? You know what it is? The status quo. And that's boring.
I guess.
I'm just saying, like, this is boring.
That's what you chase.
I choose balance. I choose both.
Yeah.
At this stage of my life, I say, why can't we have both? You know, we obviously don't want 100% bad and evil, but it's like you can't appreciate the rainy days without the sunny days.
That's true, but
versa.
I mean, once you get into, okay, well, what side of the fence are you going to get off on? Where are you going to start?
I will start down.
You're going to take a foot off and go over. And put your feet on the ground. Where are you going to start? Or where do you hope to end up at?
Well, one would. Yeah, I see what you mean.
I think it's
No.
self-evident.
No, I know. You obviously want to end up on the positive side.
Sure.
You know. But like I said, I'm not saying I'm rejecting the light. I'm not. That's a foolish thing to do.
No.
But I also personally believe that it is okay to be a human being.
True.
And human beings stumble and fall because we're imperfect. That's not a problem.
I don't necessarily see that as light or darkness.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, you know, when people say, you know, oh, you know, fall from God's grace and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, because that happens.
That's man's doctrine.
That's man's doctrine.
That doesn't actually happen.
Yeah. I'm not saying, like, you need to go out and smoke meth
Put
or
it to you
anything
like this.
that,
There are specific principles that are written down that talk about that if you ever, no one is ever seeking Creator.
Yes.
Doesn't find them. But there are those that turn their back on Creator. That Creator says, okay, you can go your own way without any future influence from me. You are
alone.
You are cut off.
Okay. No,
But ultimately, it is the choice that the individual makes.
Yeah, no, I'm not seeking to be cut off from, you know, however we choose to define the source energy, God, however you choose to define it.
Right.
I'm not seeking to be cut off. I'm just like, why can't I have both? Why can't I have balance?
No, there is balance.
You know, it's like earlier, you know, if you
what are you going to, but what are you going to reject?
Oh, at the end of the road?
Well, in any situation, if you're going to choose to reject one versus the other, if you had a choice.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
And I understand that, you know, the balance gives life flavor.
Yes.
I do.
And that's what I want. I want flavor. But this also kind of stems from my not so positive opinion of large organized religion.
Right.
You know, part of that is what it stems from. It's like, I don't want to be a part of this collective at this time. You know, I reserve the right as a person.
Sure.
Ever changing, ever evolving. I reserve the right to change my mind.
Sure. And
but
you're non-male.
Yes.
It's called women's prerogative.
Don't lawyer me, okay? Yes, I reserve the right to change my mind as a woman.
Whew. Goodness.
Whatever. Anyway. At this particular time, I want flavor. I want to see both sides of the field. Obviously, at the end of the road, I'm going to say, hey, I'm done with all the, the darkness aspect. I'm going to go over here where they're not trying to murder me.
And I can tell you from personal experience, and I understand what you're going through.
Yeah.
I
guess part of it is I'm not angry about it.
Here's what and here's the only thing that one of the main things you need to focus on, and that is You've been raised in a way, you understand the world in a way that makes you, for lack of a better term, unspookable. So you'll find yourself, you got to be careful because, like I said, the one day that my life changed, I'm staring down the barrel of a pistol in a very rough place.
Yes.
That I had a future and nobody else in there did. Once again, we talk about what we started the podcast talking about. We would lariat circle back around. Is that I had something to live for, and I was in a crowd of people who apparently did not have anything to live for, especially the person that was pointing the pistol at me. And the first thing that went through my mind was not, oh God, I'm going to die, or I don't want to die. The first thing that went through my mind was, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yes. Okay.
Because what I didn't realize was that what had transitioned from this casual middle ground had now become extreme.
In a snap.
That I no longer shared the same values of these people. And
Ain't that true?
It was time for me to go. And that was the last time I hung out in a really rough place on purpose.
On purpose. Yes. Yeah.
So being unspookable, I said it before.
Happen.
You can charge hell with a water pistol, but it sure does sting.
Yes.
So always be aware of that. And the dumb stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you'll hear it, too. You'll hear people go, oh, hey, let's go steal a car. Or, hey, let's go rob a poker game. You go rob an effing poker game.
Yeah, you go rob the poker game.
I'll read about you in the paper.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that I'm going to go charge head first.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just be aware of that reality. And that's all I ask.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, don't worry.
Because I can tell you from personal experience, especially when you're wired a certain way.
Yeah. No, it's not that I'm going to go diving headfirst into a drug den just to hang with people. No. I'm not talking about throwing my life away. I'm talking about hey, I want to tell my grandkids some fucking stories.
Yeah, that's true.
I want.
And you can do that without death being a consideration.
No. That's not. Yeah, no, that's not my point.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened to me is later on, after I reached that epiphany, what got me in trouble, was hanging out with people who hadn't learned that yet. And I would end up going into places with them,
and then you'd go, "What the fuck?
What am I doing?
What am I doing back here?
What am I doing back in a situation like this?" So
then you got to rearrange your friend priority list, which sucks.
Yeah, I know it does.
But no, I'm not talking about dancing with death. Driving down the road. Being on top of the car. No. I just have a few plans for my end of my day. My twilight years. I want to be 120. Being able to walk, not bedridden.
Yeah.
I basically want to be like Gandalf, where I'm one of the few old people.
Right.
Because considering my generation with disease, and diabetes.
You got a shot.
I have a shot of being Gandalf.
A shot.
Yeah, I have a shot of being the last motherfucker standing. One of the few, with white hair. Going around, clearly smoking weed out of a pipe.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly. You tell me Gandalf was not smoking weed.
Well, he says
You tell me what
was the other wizard?
That wasn't tobacco, that was weed.
Name?
Bilbo?
No, the other wizard.
Sauron?
Sauron.
Yeah.
Says
your love Saruman.
Saruman.
Yeah.
He said your love for the Hobbit's weed. Was it Hobbit's weed?
I think so.
Or the little person's weed, or something like that. Has dulled your mind.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said. I don't know.
And in the Hobbit movies, he shit-talked Radagast the Brown for his love of mushrooms, psychedelics.
Right. So they're having a little...
They're having a drug party, and Sauron is pissed because no one invites him.
Right. Pretty much.
That's why he turned to Sauron, because he offered him some pills. Here's some Xanax.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I'm gonna like write some kind of dissertation on how the Lord of the Rings is actually like a drug-fueled quest for Gandalf or something like that. Drugs are an integral part of Lord of the Rings.
Right now, there's a whole lot of historical revisionism going on by people with different motives, rewriting the same narrative.
Over and over again.
And spinning it their way.
Yeah, I know.
So what the hell? Yep. How about a couple of corn dogs?
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah. Yeah, I want to go around clearly smoking weed and just spouting off like pieces of information. You know, not all who wander are lost. A wizard is never late. A wizard is never too early or too late. They arrive precisely when they mean to be. And I'm going to tell my grandchildren some wild stories.
Yeah.
When I was your age, I was in Italy riding on the back of a motorcycle with a handsome Italian man.
How old are you? 22. Well, when I was your age, I was 23.
Yes. That's going to be me.
Cool.
Be the long, white, hopefully silver hair.
Yep.
And I mean long. I don't want it like short, like, older elderly women do today. For some reason they get like an afro. I don't want an afro. I want long hair. Why not?
Yep.
And I'm smoking out of the pipe and I'll be like, Bilbo Baggins!
Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, that's me. I aspire to be Gandalf. That's
Hey, gotta have a drink.
That's my dream. I want to be Gandalf when I am 120.
You got a good start.
Oh yeah. All right. Oh, I gotta catch a dinner.
Yeah.
All right.
You going out or?
Yeah, I'm going out.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's the other reason for the dress, aside from I was just sweaty.
No, I just wanted to mention Kiss. Woo!
Kiss.
Kiss.
Yes.
That's
fine.
We could do a whole podcast on them one of these days. Maybe you can watch that documentary.
I will.
I mean, I have lots to share.
Sure.
About the 70s. When it comes to that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I'd love to hear it, because I like stories.
Sure.
But, I gotta catch dinner.
Awesome.
All right, you good?
I'm good.
All right, sweet. Well, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
And I was your co-host, Mr. Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Bye.
Goodbye.